Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's important, bro. Like, so many people that we grew up with, bro, that's still sitting up in there, man. And I remember when I walked off the yard, bro, it's kind of hard to even walk off the yard because I realized, like, damn, I'm leaving so many people behind. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
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 you've been doing
man.
time, man.
I,
That's
Oh
deep.
I
yeah.
remember one of
So,
the one of the homies had asked me. One of the young homies, he asked me like, man, man, damn, you look like you finna cry. I'm like, bro, you don't understand. Like, man, like it's a lot of brothers right here standing right here in the midst of you. It's like five of them. I said, we done been through so much together, so many wars, so many struggles, mental struggles, physical struggles, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Emotional struggles in this world right here. Yet here I am about to basically walk out on it
Yep.
real
after we done
family,
put our,
real
our,
family.
our lives on the line with each other, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 Right,
And
man.
it's
So I
crazy
said,
you
so
said that because when I was in Kern Valley, I was with Bull Rock. And
yeah,
when I got that little, when the points go down, you get that little ducket saying, "Oh, your points going down. You about to hit another prison." Man, the
right,
look on Bull Rock face, he like, "You finna leave?" I'm like, "Yeah." They gave me the thing. I might be gone in 2 weeks, man. And like you say, you got to stay strong because the look on his face. I'm like, I'll get on the first DP, nigga, and get some more points so I can stay here with you. He was like, I'm glad he had love for me because he said no. Get up
right,
off this yard because most niggas don't
Yeah.
even get up off the yard. But I was ready to mess up just to be, and
right,
we wasn't even sellies, but just to hit
exactly.
the yard and be with him. And I knew him, man. He'd been down all that time. I was ready to mess up just to be with him. But I'm glad that he said, "Get up out of here."
Of course,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Sound like
It's
a
a,
real.
it's a, those are the type of things that we have to like learn to break, man. Those psychological habits of believing that things is a certain way. Like like one thing I used to when I taught classes in prison,
Yes,
I would always
sir.
teach about like the difference of how do we get to become the people we were to hang out. Like there's two sides to it. There's a side of emotional trauma and there's
Mm.
a side of physical trauma. So emotional trauma, I'm gonna start with physical trauma. We grow up as kids in the neighborhoods, no matter what household we in, and we're taught that if somebody do something to you, you hit them back. This is a
Yes,
means
sir.
of being taught violence. This is how
Mm-hmm.
violence starts. If he bigger than you pick up something. This is another means of
Mm-hmm.
teaching somebody violence. So now you learn this in the household, and then when you go out in the streets, you better not let a motherfucker hit you. You better hit their ass back. You better not run. You better get off on them.
Yep.
Then when you get to juvenile hall, it's the same thing. Get off where you get mad at. You go to Y, it's the same thing. You go to prison, it's the same thing. Then on the other side of that is the emotional stage of it. The emotional stage of when you fall on your bike as a little boy, or you jump off of a roof and fall and hurt yourself, you cry. Your mama might tell you, your uncle might tell you, your daddy might tell you, your brother, sister, you better not cry. Quit acting
Yeah.
like a little punk. You acting like a little bitch. All these different
Mm-hmm.
narratives of teaching you to suppress your emotions. And inside of you suppressing your emotions, they're teaching you to cut those emotions off. All while you're a human being, which there's really no such thing as this. So, but they're teaching you to shade these emotions. When you out hanging out and you get into it with somebody, you start crying. You better not cry. You better not act like no punk. You better not act like no little bitch. Then when you go to juvenile hall, you have to toughen yourself up to show like I'm not gonna show no weakness. You go to YA,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna show no weakness. Then when you
Everywhere.
get to the pen, you're being taught to suppress your emotions. Like you taught in prison to throw your emotions out the door. You know what I'm saying? So now you correlate that with the act of being violence, in the midst of if somebody do something to you, you do it back, or somebody bigger than you pick up something and suppress your emotions. These two things create a concoction of destruction.
Mm.
Because now when you're sitting inside of this world of living inside a prison,
Man.
you have no emotions, you have no concern or consideration for the next human being. You don't care about him, you don't care about his family. All you care about is your own survival. You understand
Yep.
what I'm saying? And then on the other side of that is like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to survive. If that means
Yes,
slice this
sir.
motherfucker, throat, that's what I'm gonna do.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
you correlate the two, and then you come to the understanding of realizing like this is how I became that person.
Mm.
You know, and it even goes deeper than that. Like I used to teach in my class about like how people would actually how people got caught up on crimes. So I'll give you a prime example. Like when I ask people, like they asked me in the parole board, when was the first time that I committed a crime? And I told the psych and the parole board, I told them the first time I ever committed a crime, I was about 8 years old. He said, "What was it? What did you do?" I said, I stole the ice cream up out of the refrigerator at my mama's house. He laughed at me and said, "Excuse me, sir, that's not a crime." But now this is a psych talking to me. But I
Wow.
gave him some insight into something that he had never even heard of and never even thought of. But I brought so much to his mind with what I'm about to tell you that it kind of destroyed him inside to where he didn't even realize the depths of what I was about to break down to him.
Explain.
So it goes like this. At 8 years old, I had stole ice cream up out of the refrigerator. When my mother told me not to get it, I went behind her back and got it anyway.
Yes, sir.
Now, each time I would start doing this more and more because I knew she didn't know I was doing it. I was getting away with it. I got away with it in the household, and it was easy for me to remove, to duck and move and get away because nobody ever discovered what I was doing. Then we would step out and go to the local store, the local market, and I, penny pitch a few candies here, a bag of chips here, a soda here. Still didn't know nothing about it. Then we might go to a department store. I might go steal this over here or steal that over there. I'm getting away with it because damn, she ain't recognized that I've been doing this for the longest. I've been doing this right up under her nose while I was in the household. So now we on the streets, I definitely can get away with it. But as you grow and build, you start realizing like you've now created these habits within yourself to now where now you out here and you stealing, you breaking in cars. Now we breaking in cars because we didn't elevate it from the fact of I can steal out of the house, I can steal out of this store. Well, let me start breaking in these houses. Okay, I ain't making no money like that. Well, fuck it. Now, we got a motherfucker coming down the street. Let's go ahead and jack him. Let's go ahead and rob him. Now we didn't elevate it from that to okay. Shit, now we finna start hitting licks. Now we finna start running up on shit and laying motherfuckers down and robbing them. Yeah. From that, it turns to now, I think I'm gonna go up in this bank and I'm gonna go up in here. And one day you go up in the bank and you try to rob somebody up in the bank. In the midst of it, somebody pulls out, you turn around and shoot and kill them. Now you sitting in front of the parole board and you got to ask them, they ask you, how did this happen? How did it get to this point? You have to take it all the way back to your childhood. And when you first started believing that it was okay and acceptable to steal inside of your mama's house, because that's where the foundation laid and started for you to start doing that.
Exactly. I always say it starts in the home.
It never got corrected. It never been corrected. Exactly. Since it started, it was never corrected.
You gotta write a book. You gotta write a book, my nigga. Hey man, so you know about the poor man copyright, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
You got some good ideas, man. Write that shit down and mail it to yourself, man. So motherfuckers get some shit. You show the motherfuckers the date. They try to do some backdoor shit on you like Hollywood. You can still get some bread.
Oh yeah.
First things first.
And it's crazy, bro, because shit, man, for a long time, I never saw myself as even ever having a chance to get out of prison, bro. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, like, I know after I caught that second case up in there, people really thought it was over for me. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm gonna tell you one thing I know. I ain't been to prison, but I know one thing. Man, it's the gentleness and the glory of God, brother.
Yes, sir.
That we go through the things we go through, man, and we go through many fires out here, man. But
yes, sir.
God has a plan for all of us. God created us for His pleasure. That's what it says in the Bible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You just gotta have that faith, man, and believe. That's it.
Fam. I want to ask you a question. But going in there, doing all that time, getting out, I know this gonna be a long one, man. But just name off a few things that didn't change for you since you know from being in there and from being out, man. You feel me? From when the last time you was out.
Some of the things that have changed.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
you
like
reckon.
just probably like about
So
5
one
or
of
10 things, probably.
one of the greatest things that have changed, man, and for me is technology. Mind you, when I left the streets, wasn't no such thing as the internet, wasn't no such thing as a cell phone. I mean, you had brick phones in the cars, but there wasn't none of this digital technology that we have now today.
Yeah.
You know, so
Crazy.
that's one of the main things technology wise. Like sometimes I'll be on the phone and I'll be scared to hit a button because I'm thinking it's finna give it a virus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really be cautious of what I touch and how, you know, being on the computer. You know, like right now, like I said, I'm in movie production school to be a production assistant, and they pay good money, bro. You could be a production assistant and make anywhere from $200 to $700 in a day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the process of doing that, but like we have to get on our laptops and do that shit sometime. And man, I'll be leery on touching certain things on there.
Hey man, real shit.
Man.
Right now is the best time because when this actor strike get over,
Yeah.
them motherfuckers about to get paid so fucking much. It's gonna be
Oh
stupid.
yeah. Oh yeah.
The price is about to double and triple. You think that 2 to 7 is about to be 5 to 12, nigga?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hey, Terrell, young Terrell, I'll put that picture on. Who the host? I put the picture on the. I just sent that picture to you.
Oh, I see it. I see, man. I see you. Yeah.
Check him out.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's whoever would have thought you'd be sitting around a whole lot of white people like that.
Yeah, man. Look, and they soaking up everything.
Yeah, look, they all paying attention. Everybody head up. Ain't nobody on the phone.
He got one of them Selma, Alabama suits on too.
Hell yeah. Look at this fool, man.
That's right.
Man.
I love it.